Hello, and welcome to the second of two demos on using Yammer Embed to include Yammer functionality into your SharePoint sites, such as your My Feed, a group feed, or social gesture icons such as like, share, and follow. This is in regards to an Ignite 2015 session that myself, Eric Overfield, and Naomi Moneypenny gave on Thursday, May 7th, 2015. The breakout session ID is BRK3201. In the first demo, what we did was we embedded SharePoint functionality directly in Yammer functionality directly into our SharePoint site using the embed tools and the embed scripts as provided directly by SharePoint. In this demo, what we want to do is replace this with web parts or app parts using a Visual Studio project, so as to make this easier for our end users, so they don't have to worry about copying and pasting different controls and JavaScript and HTML. Instead, they can just add web parts or app parts like they might already be doing in your SharePoint portals. This solution is based on a GitHub project. Let me go ahead and show that project. The GitHub project can be found at github.com/eoverfield/Yammer SharePoint, where you can download all the source code needed here and what we're going to be showing here, including the Office 365 SharePoint 2013 ready version that's going to create an app parts, as well as a on-prem version or a full trust version that uses web parts instead. These are full trust solution because there is some backend C# code. This could easily be updated for SharePoint 2010 as well as SharePoint 2016 with just a little bit of effort. Now the project itself, the one I'm going to go over, is the app part Visual Studio solution. The web part full trust is basically the same. So if you look here, the overview of this is going to be basically the same as what you would find in the C# solution. We use almost the exact same code. The primary controls here of this Visual Studio solution for SharePoint apps includes the app parts. These are basically web parts, and the one I'm going to go over here is the Yammer Embed app part that we're creating. Basically, what we need to set up here are all the different properties that are going to be editable. That are going to be editable site owners by content authors and site owners. They're going to basically get a web part tool pane or app part tool pane that looks just like a web part tool pane that looks just like a web part tool pane. Where they can set the different properties that they might need. All of the properties that you see here are what's going to be related directly to the JavaScript options available to us. Now, we expect Embed to increase its functionality and its options that are available to us. We expect that this project is a really good project for you to springboard. Is a really good project for you to springboard. You'll most likely have to update. You'll most likely have these app parts as well as the web parts if you go that route. As well as the web parts to take advantage of these properties. So as to take advantage of these properties as they're made available by the Yammer Embed team. These properties, though, are going to be set. They will then go to once they're set and a page is then loaded with the app with the what's going to happen kind of in the back end. What's going to happen kind of in the back end? App solution is going to be told to load this Embed.aspx. Very simple script file. What we're doing very simple script file. What we're doing here basically the JavaScript file preload Yammer. The JavaScript file going to load a app.js file that will include all the JavaScript code needed to include all the JavaScript code needed to interpret properties that were set by the properties that were set. And then finally, we're going to throw a function that we created to basically draw the Yammer Embed control that we need. So let's go ahead now and look at what that Yammer Embed. This is going to be in the app.js file. Now there's a lot of JavaScript code in here. The important stuff, basically. The important stuff on down is we're looking for the Yammer Embed object, and within that we'll see a draw object, and within that we'll see you'll see that there's other objects. You'll see that there's other objects for the social icons as well as the social icons as well as the social gestures. Primarily, what we're doing is we're going to go ahead and grab all of the properties that we need. These are all the properties that are going to define what the Yammer Embed is. We create ourselves a wrapper. we create ourselves a wrapper that's going to be used to actually inject our embed directly into our embed into our SharePoint site. This is a SharePoint site. Yammer embed is going to do all that magic. Yammer embed is going to do all that magic. We then are going to set up an options. We then are going to set up an options object that we're going to make look exactly like Yammer embed is expecting. Yammer embed is JavaScript code. If you remember the JavaScript code includes Yammer embed. Look at that. Includes. Let's go ahead. Basically, this is a function that needs an option that needs an object that has the container of all the different values needed. And all we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this. All we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this basic structure, and then we will take that object and then we will take that object and just provide it to the embed feed. Let's go back to our JavaScript. You can see we're setting up our different options that may be set. Different options. There's a big one that we've not gone over in detail here, but if we've not gone over in detail here, but if an open graph is open graph, which is a very powerful tool, which is very primarily or used oftentimes for commenting to provide commenting to a given page. Those options can be set here. And then finally, the cool thing happens here. And then finally, trigger that same Yammer Connect Embed. Trigger that same Yammer Connect Embed function using the options. Using the container that we created above here, the container that we created above here, the options object. And that's basically all there is to it. And that's basically all there is to it. So let's go ahead and go back to our site. So let's go ahead and we will load our. Let's go ahead and we will edit this page. And what we're going to do is we will remove the script editor web part. So let's go ahead and go back to our site. Let's go ahead and we're going to replace that with an app part. Now, what we're going to do is we will remove that I've created. The apps that have already been created here for us have already been installed into our replace that with an app part. Now this available to the specific app that I've created, the apps that have already been created here for us have already been installed into, and we scroll to the right, into our SharePoint. We'll see that we have the different made available to the specific parts that we've created website, and then they've been activated. So now when we go to apps and we scroll to the right, we'll see that we have the different app part is created. I can go ahead and edit the web part. I said we wanted to include and what we'll see here is a whole bunch of properties that we can now set. Once this we've included things here like the height and width in case you needed to set those, and even if you wanted to be able to have a unique container ID, we can now set. So this makes it a lot easier. We've included things here like the height and width, and either not have to worry about those, and even if you wanted to be able to have a unique you can then set a whole bunch of different properties. These are the exact same properties that we saw site owners to either not have to worry about that kind of stuff or override it if they want to. We have to set these options manually. You can then set a whole bunch of different properties. These are the exact same properties that we saw. Change the canonical network to our demo site here, which is where we have to set these options manually. But let's just say we want to load the my feed 11. So we're going to change the. You could always go ahead and add you could change the Visual Studio project so that this would default to, of course, your own feed, which makes a lot of sense to me. Why you'd want that you would want to do that. You could always go ahead and add it. You could change if you chose to have an open graph default to, of course, then you could also even set the open graph object. The most important one being the URL of a particular page. And if you chose to have an open graph file, then you could also whatever other type you want, providing that the most important one being make this all work the URL of the particular page, or the URL of the specific file, and click on save, or whatever other type you want, providing that URL will then make this all work. We effectively have the same feed that we had before. But what was nice here was I had to do no copy and pasting. All I needed to do was go in and edit my page, drop in the app part that I wanted, provide my feed that we had before, which could also. What was nice here was I had to do no copy and pasting. All I needed to do app part was go in and edit my page, only allow very specific editing, such as adding my feed, and you already know your canonical which could also then be go ahead and preset. Maybe you want to create specific. So it makes it very simple and easy if you're a content author that only allow very specific editing, such as adding your my feed, and you already know your canonical network. Increase user adoption because it's that much easier. So it makes it very simple and easy if you're content authors to add feeds. Now we can actually see the same thing happen with which is going to greatly increase user adoption with our social gestures. It's that much easier to add. Edit this page. People will be less hesitant to actually go through this process. Now we can actually see the same thing happen with go ahead and delete the web part. With our social gestures. Let's go ahead and edit this page. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and delete the web part, the script editor web part. Let's go ahead and add the Yammer follow app. And let's go ahead and add ourselves an app part. Now, the app parts can be a little more tricky. Let's go ahead and add because what's going on here follow app is that Remember that apps are stored in iframes, and now the app parts can be a little more action. The social gesture because what's going on here in context of that iframe, which is not what we want. We want to follow remember that apps are stored in iframes, and now the iframe itself can't social get the URL. The social gesture you're adding is going to be in context of that iframe, which is not what we want. We want to follow the current URL we're on part. Now the iframe itself properties that was made available easily of its specific app part. So normally it's easier to just go ahead and set the specific. So I can go ahead and edit URL of the given page, which would be the open graph properties that was made available. Now what you want to do though is when we grab this URL was the ability to set the specific. You want to make sure not to include URL of the given variables, which would be likely found in the edit mode, because that. Now what you want to do though is when we grab this URL, allowing to follow the specific. You want to make sure not to include any of the query variables most likely found in the edit mode, because that really isn't going to help. We just want to make sure that we are allowing to follow the specific URL of this given page. Scroll to the top. So if we go ahead and click on OK, we will see that the same exact follow button that we had before is now being printed. And we can even unfollow it like we did before, and we'll go. And we know this worked because we will see that the same exact follow button that we had before is now being printed. If I go ahead and unfollow that, and we can even unfollow it like we did before, unfollow, and we would know this worked because it must have worked because we're following within our feed showing. If I go ahead and unfollow that, we'll see that. So hopefully this helps you realize if we go back to how easy it would be to create a Visual Studio project in our feed, showing maybe create web parts if you're doing this for an on-prem installation. So hopefully this helps you realize to make it that much how easy it would be to create a Visual Studio project Yammer functionality without having web parts if you're doing this for an on-prem installation or just building app parts, etc. To make it that much easier for your content authors to add Yammer functionality without having to do any kind of copying and pasting, knowing HTML, JavaScript, etc. Hope you enjoyed this demo. Look forward to talking to you soon.